Anand Abhijit Joshi.
It was March 7th, 2010. I was pedaling through New Zealand as part of my first Ironman triathlon. And then, bam! This is my defining moment. What is your defining moment? Fellow Toastmasters and guests, we all face challenges, sometimes small, sometimes big. To overcome these challenges, we can draw inspiration from our defining moment. When I was laid off and when my 6-year relationship was falling apart, I was able to draw inspiration from my defining moment. Do you vividly remember your defining moment? What did it feel like? How did it change you? 5 months ago, I was living on the East Coast in Baltimore. Inspired by my swim coach, I signed up for an Ironman triathlon happening within 5 months. An Ironman triathlon consists of 3 parts. In the first part, we have to swim 2.4 miles in the lake or ocean. Then we have to bike 112 miles. No, it's not an electric bike. Finally, we have to run a full marathon. The time limit is 17 hours. No way, I was ready. A month earlier, I was barely able to finish half the distance of the Ironman. I wanted to dream big. I wanted to be the 4th Indian out of the billion people to finish the race. I started training 3 hours on the weekdays and 6 hours on the weekends. Within a month, the cold winter descended on Baltimore, making it harder for me to train. Clearly, I don't have much insulation. I arrived in New Zealand 5 days before the race. While standing in line with my fellow participant Ross, I shared my doubt about completing the Ironman. Ross suggested, "Mate, don't think of Ironman as a big elephant. Think in terms of pieces, like the trunk, the leg, the tail. Then it becomes more manageable." Still, I could not sleep the night before the race. So I got out of the bed, got my wetsuit, my food, and arrived at the lake. The lake was serene. I put on my wetsuit and was anxiously awaiting the start. Once the horn blew, I let the elite swimmers go and then started swimming. I got kicked in my head by my fellow participant. I was gasping for air. I was disoriented. Took me some time to get composed. After a few minutes, I found my rhythm. I passed the 1 mile marker. I passed the 2nd mile marker. I finished the swim in record time. I was excited as I encouraged. I started running towards the transition area. I unzipped my wetsuit, grabbed my bike and started riding. Within a few miles, I was surrounded by sheep on both sides of the road. Truly, there are 4 times as many sheep than people in New Zealand. I passed the 15-mile marker, the rolling hills, the grazing cows, the green pastures. My soul felt alive. I passed the 20-mile marker. Damn! What happened? I got down from my bike. I started inspecting my bike. My front tire exploded. I had a spare tube, but no tire. What about my dream? What about the people passing me? 2 things were happening at the same time. Firstly, I was surprised. I did not panic. I kept my bike down and started cheering for the people who were passing me. Secondly, I was feeling disappointment. I trained so hard for so long. Then I realized exploding tire was beyond my control. There was no use beating myself up. Instead, I started focusing on what was coming my way. I felt free from the outcome of the race. Calmness was sinking in. This was my defining moment. I felt strength. I could overcome any challenge. An hour later, I did get the tire replacement. I did cross the finish line. However, I gained more from the moment than from the accomplishment of finishing the race. This defining moment helped me in life's two big challenges. When I was laid off, I was numb. I was shocked. When I started thinking about the exploding tire, I realized merger was beyond my control. I found the strength to think calmly and figure out what I needed to do next. When my 6-year relationship was falling apart, my heart was broken. I was struck with grief and sadness. When I started thinking about the exploding tire, I realized long distance was beyond my control. I found the strength to pick up the broken pieces of my heart and start again. We all have the strength to deal with challenging situations. We need to remember our defining moment. Exploding tire is my defining moment. What is your defining moment? Sorry, Toastmasters.
Thank you very much, test speaker. Sergeant at Arms and all evaluation contestants, please go to the breakout session to complete your notes. We will wait until you have all left the meeting and the tech chair has confirmed that you are all in the breakout room. Sergeant at Arms, please message the tech chair once 5 minutes have elapsed and we'll confirm that you can send back over the first contestant after 5 minutes of preparation time. Finally, timer.
Well, everyone's in the breakout room.
Oh, great. Thank you very much, Jennifer. And finally, timer, if you could indicate to me when 5 minutes have elapsed. Thank you very much. Very good. So, Abhi, well, thank you very much for a very interesting speech. Could you just let us know, what club do you belong to?
I belong to NSpeak Club, which is in NVIDIA in Santa Clara.
Oh, great. Well, thank you very much for making the trip. How long have you been a member of that club?
I joined last February.
Okay. And have you belonged to Toastmasters before or any other clubs?
No.
Oh, great. Well, you've been a member for a little over a year then. Thank you.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay. If someone asks you what's the best thing about Toastmasters, what do you normally say to them?
Oh, the best thing is, like, I love helping people find their voice. I'm mentoring at least 10 plus people at my club. So it's like fun when they go there and they, after their speech, the smile they have on their face, it's so fulfilling. It keeps me alive and keep on doing that, you know?
Oh, great. That's good. Well, that was going to be my next question, actually, a more general question in terms of your speech. What's the thing which makes you get up in the morning and face the day?
You know, I love helping people and that fulfills me. So, and Toastmasters gives me that opportunity. So I really enjoy that, you know. It's actually more fulfilling than my job.
Oh, good. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned that you went to New Zealand. You maybe can tell from my accent that I come from Australia. So now, had you been to Australia or New Zealand before?
No, no. I just directly went like for the first time in 2010.
Oh, very good. And now you mentioned you swam in a lake.
Yes.
Which lake was that?
It was Lake Tapo in the North Island.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah, yeah. It
Excellent.
was, the lake was so clear
Uh-huh.
that it scared me because I could see the bottom of the lake.
Right, right.
And mostly I swam in US, the water is so murky, so you don't know how deep the lake is or the ocean is.
And how many other contestants were there in the competition?
At least around 1,000 people.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's really good.
Yeah.
I was struck by you saying how many sheep you saw, because that's a common Australian joke about New Zealand, that there's so many more sheep than people. I
Yeah.
apologize if I offend any New Zealanders present here. Did you have an opportunity? I don't know if you eat meat. Did you have an opportunity to try eating any mutton while you were there?
No, unfortunately, I never ate meat in my life, so
Oh, well,
I
good,
don't know how it tastes like.
good for you. Yeah, I'm vegetarian too, so
Yeah.
but supposedly New Zealand mutton is really good. Did you buy any woolen products?
Yes, the scarf, I have a really nice soft scarf, it's really warm.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm glad you brought that back. Oh, I apologize. I have not actually have a view of the timer's screen. So, Mr. Timer, if you could just verbally tell me when the time is up. Great, thank you. Oh, I can see you now. Thanks, Helen. Right. So now, is this the first time you've actually been a test speaker?
No, this is not the first time. This is my maybe third time.
Oh, okay. What makes you volunteer to be a test speaker?
Oh, because the feedback I get, it helps me to improve, Like
Right.
yesterday, I got feedback, like when I was trying to mimic Ross, I was too loud. So I kind of toned it down. And there were some pauses I needed to add. So I was able to add that. So it really helps you to improve, not just in your speech, but also as a human being,
Sure, sure. Now, I noticed the backdrop. Is that actually a photograph of the lake in New Zealand?
No. Actually, it's my friend painted it. It's from Alviso, the South Bay.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. It's a sunset. It was on actually January 1st, 2019.
Right, right. I was just wondering, that would have been very a great commitment to your speech.
Yeah.
Someone actually asked me to ask you a question. They think you have a great technical setup, the lighting, background, sound. They're wondering if you would mind just sharing your technical setup with everybody.
Sure, yeah, I would love to. I would love to do that.
Oh, would you mind just if you could
Oh
tell us?
yeah. So
Yeah, sure.
okay. So the first thing is you have to have the camera at your eye level. So I have like I have I have one table and then a stool on top, and then a box so that the camera is exactly at the eye level. And I have LED lights all over so that the lighting is really good, so that they can see my face. And also, if you use a Mac computer with a wireless headsets, then the sound is also very good, because I have a Windows computer. If I use that, then there is a lot of static. But if I use the Mac, then there is no static.
Great. Well, that's so good. And but I noticed the timer has indicated the time is up. So
Yes.
once again, thank you so much
Sure.
for everything. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you. With that, we are ready for our